you. Hi, Donna.
Okay, I had to unmute. Hello.
Hi.
Donna?
This is Donna.
Nancy,
yes.
Hello.
Hello, Donna.
Hi, Nancy.
I see Marcia's coming in here too.
My internet is being crazy, so I'm going to leave my... Nancy, do you want to share her Flipgrid video?
I can do that. Are you okay with me sharing it, Donna?
Sure, I just did it one time and
We'll wait till Marcia joins us and then we'll, because she had to share hers, so.
okay.
How are things going in your classroom, Donna?
Say it again.
Oh, I was asking Donna Childress how things were going in her classroom.
Gotcha. Sorry, I've been in and out. I'm not sure what's going on with my internet.
Sorry, I'm here. I was trying to get some food out of my air fryer.
Oh,
Yeah, I love an
understand.
air fryer. I use mine all the time.
Me too.
I've been debating, so I really do want one.
Oh, they're good.
Nancy, do you want to share Donna's Flipgrid?
I will do that. Since you had to share yours, Marcia, we figured it was only fair.
Okay.
Nancy, did you share the volume when you shared it? Your computer volume?
Maybe not. Okay. Oh, do you know what? I've got my, I know what it is. I've got my ear pods in. Hang on. Because I was worried about my dogs barking. I'm going to stop sharing for a second and go back and switch to the settings. Okay, let me try again. Still not working. Hang on one second. I'm sorry. It's still coming over my AirPods. You know what, Donna, why don't you go and get started and I will figure out how to turn this so that it doesn't do that. Hang on.
Sorry, I broke up again.
Let me see.
Fourth grade teacher at Riverview Elementary Middle School. And my goal is to introduce my children to...
Can you hear it now?
Hello, my name is
Yes.
Donna Childress. I'm a fourth grade teacher at Riverview Elementary Middle School. And my goal is to introduce my children to Flipgrid, to share stories. We're doing book reports right now, and I'd like for them to share their book report on Flipgrid. I'm learning technology day by day, and I appreciate all your help. Thank you.
Good job.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you. Now, Marcia, you're going to be jealous. She did it in one take.
I just went for it. Well, I thought whatever happens, happens. But I did it at school, and my children were watching me do it. And
That's awesome.
I said, "You're going to be doing this next." And
I love that.
Did you share the video you made with them after you did it?
No, I haven't. I need to do that. I hadn't thought about that, but they watched me, and after I finished, they told me I did a good job.
You can actually do that first before you have them do their book report. There's actually already a pre-made lesson plan on saying hello. That's the one I used there. And so you could use that and have them say hello that way.
Okay.
All
Thank
right. Good job.
Very cool. All right. So I'm gonna share, I know that I want to share the resources with you because I know there was some issues about finding it. So in the chat, I am going to come back over here for a second. I'm going to share the link in the chat in just a second. But I just wanted to go there and let you see as soon as I get off there. Okay. So for each session, for session 1, we have the PowerPoint and resources in it. Session 2, the same thing. And then the link for the recordings are there as well. So everything that we've talked about or done during these PDs are all in this Google Drive. Okay. just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. So I'm going to go to session 3 and click on our PowerPoint we're going to actually use today. So our goal for today is for you to learn some strategies to use technology to teach comprehension skills and to also use technology to do some assessments. So session 3, and then we did the Flipgrid intro. We did Donna because I knew you were going to do it. I'm so proud of you. And Marcia, it did take me more than one take as well. So today we're going to just do an overview of comprehension. We're going to talk about some strategies. We're going to look at 3 different virtual platforms, and then we're going to talk about assessment, and then there's lots of resources at the end for you to use. So of course, the ultimate goal of comprehension is just we want them to be able to independently read and understand what they read. And we want them to also notice when it doesn't make sense so they can stop and consistently, that's the key word here, be thinking about their thinking. Because if they are not consistently doing it, then it's going to impair their comprehension. So, and of course, reading comprehension is constructing meaning for both fiction and nonfiction texts. And we're going to do some stuff with nonfiction texts to help you give them some strategies in order to understand fiction text as well. So the virtual environment means we have to be even more intentional when we're planning these strategies for our students. So here's the thing is we really want to be able to have them think about, this is that thinking about thinking piece. Do they understand what they're reading? So we want them to be able to ask themselves, do I understand this? And if I do, I'm going to keep reading. If I don't, then I need to stop and fix it. And we need to help them be able to understand that it's okay to stop if they don't understand. There are really 3 overall types of comprehension that we want to focus on when we're teaching students. There's the literal comprehension where it really just requires surface level understanding. And these are questions that you might ask that what is, who is the main character? How did the main character do this? So it gives you a definition of what the comprehension skill is, and then what teacher language or questions you might ask to help improve that section, that part of the comprehension. So whether it's literal, inferential, where they inferences and their own conclusions, or whether it's evaluative and they have to try to connect it to previous knowledge. So this is just a slide to help give you like an overview to try to help you when you're planning for comprehension lessons, which comprehension skill do you really want to focus on? And I'm going through these kind of quickly because I know you guys know how to teach reading. We're just really working on when you do it virtually, but I just wanted to give you a little background. So really when we're planning, what is it we want them to learn? What genre are we going to use to teach it? What topic in this genre is going to help them? And what reading level are they? And that's one of the good things about the platforms that I'm going to share with you is you can choose the reading level for the different assignments that you might want to give them. So here's some virtual resources. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. I want to ask you a question. Who knows what a text structure is?
It's how it's organized, like problem solution.
Yes. Cause and effect, description, descriptive. Yeah, I just said description, cause and effect, problem and solution, sequential, and there's one more.
Compare, contrast.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, so those are the text structures. What are the text features? This one always gets because you don't think of it.
Maps, headings.
Yes, bold words,
yeah,
subtitles, all of those things are, yes, those are all part of it for sure. I'm going to go back to this way to share. All right, so I am going to share with you a sample that our students did for their students. So they created this text structure magazine, all digital, and then they shared it virtually with So they had to use each of the 5 text structures, and then they had to include text features in order to do it. And let me see if I download this, if it makes it easier to see the whole thing. All right, I need to make one. I need to make it a little smaller. There we go. All right, so this is probably too small. All right, so this is the cover, the Pygmy Three-Toed Sloth, that's the cover. And then this is their table of contents. So this is something that they created as a sample for their students to do. And they took them through each stage of the process. So of course they first started with doing the text feature or the text structures. So they had to find a topic, and then they had to create this text structure magazine based on cause and effect, compare and contrast, description, and it didn't transfer very well over from Google. This should be on the other page, but you get an idea. So they included the text structure, they included text features, and so their assignment, they gave the students, they had to incorporate these things, and in order to do that, they had to be able to comprehend the information that they read. So it was kind of like a research project. So they had read and synthesize and summarize, and then rewrite it in their own words, and picking problem and solution description, and the different other text structures and text features. And then they included a glossary. So it was a really good way for them to model how they wanted. You don't need to see the seminar schedule. It was a really good way for them to model how to use a text structure to help understand and comprehend the information that they were reading. Have any of you done any text structure or anything with text structures this year yet?
I have not yet, but I was actually planning that today.
Oh, awesome. Well, the
Yeah.
good thing is, I mean, it's not something that can be done overnight, right? It's definitely, if you're doing cause and effect, you're going to spend some time on that. So you have to teach the different structures first. And so it could be a week or a 2-week long unit. And do you do it to integrate other content, or do you just do it for reading?
I usually, last year when I did do it, I did it really just for reading, but we brought in a lot of different articles that maybe, I mean, they were, for reading, but there was a lot of different topics. So there could have been some science or history included.
That's cool. Well, and I know that's one of the ways. I know some districts in the spring, when they're getting ready for SOLs, they kind of stop teaching social studies and science because they on the reading and the math. So it's a good way to continue teaching some of those social studies or science skills within embedded in reading. All right, let's go back. All right, so text structures is one way that you can do this virtually, because they can do it all online. They can do it in Google Classroom, or they can do it on Jamboard or any of the other some of the other ones that we did. They could also present it in a Flipgrid as well. All right, so we're going to play with something called Newslia. Oh, wait, I skipped one. Hang on. Anticipation guides. Do you guys use anticipation guides?
No, not really.
Donna, you're muted. Not so much. Well, anticipation guides are a good way to activate prior knowledge before they start reading, to see what they know. And then you can have questions, specific comprehension questions that you include in there for them to think about while they're reading. So they can read a part, stop, go back and write their answer. Then you can have the discussion and the response part after reading it, which this could also be used as a sort of post-assessment along with an exit slip. So we're going to do Newslia, and we'll come back to how to do the anticipation guides with that in a little bit, but I want you to play with Newslia just a little bit first. So I'm going to ask you to go to this top link, and I will cut and paste it and put it in the chat. But first I'm going to show you what it looks like, and in a minute we'll go there. So here is Newslia. It's a free platform. It has lots of nonfiction text on it, but you can also use that to help teach comprehension. And you can create really quick assignments. So I have, it's free. There's a binder, there's the assignments. So I created some assignments, just 2 today, just for us to play with. And so the first one that citizenship in action, and then I came in with my other email account so I could actually practice it. So your students will read this activity. The cool thing is there are choices for them to read. This is the one I chose. But there are, hang on a second. Here's the sample one. So here's the article. Let's create one. It'll be easier for me to show you. All right, so I want to create a new assignment. So I'm going to choose whether I'm going to go to my content and I'm going to choose text sets by teacher for grades 2 through 5 or grades 6 through 12. And since I'm going to do upper elementary, so I'm going to choose 2 through 5. And then I'm going to choose the text set. Do I want people of influence then and now? Citizenship, which is the one that I did earlier.
Donna, we're having trouble hearing you.
I know I keep breaking up. I'm really sorry. Say it again.
Were you asking us to choose the article, or were you choosing?
Well, so it's a choice. So this one that says, can you hear me, Nancy?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, if it says one asset, there's only one article. If it says 9, there's 9 for them to choose from. So you can have them choose which one they want to do. I can't believe it's not going to the next page for me. My internet is not good. All right, so it came up. So I'm going to create my assignment. So I can choose the text level if I want to adjust the level. So I want to make it more I want it to be a really independent activity for my grades 2 through 5. So let's say we each fourth choose a grade 3 to start with. And then I'm going to lock that selection. So all the texts that they choose for this activity are going to be grade 3. So you can differentiate it. You can create different assignments for different groups of students. And then you can give directions. So read choose an article and complete the quiz. I'm just going to say it that way for now. And then I'm going to assign it. So what they get to do when they click on it is they get to choose. Why is it not letting me do this? Because I'm not logged in? No, I am logged in. I signed it to the text class. Technology is so fun. All right, so then you can choose. You want to do the civil rights movement? I'm going to choose that one and see if it gives me more choices. So here's the article. We're going to have them read. We can have them write if we want, but I didn't tell them they had to write. I just told them to read and answer the quiz. So then they can read this article, and it's not very long. And I like the fact, one of the things I like about this for the student view is it's sections of it. So it's not like a huge thing of text. It's more like a book. So then they can read the article and then they can do the quiz. And then the quizzes are here. And then I have to finish my registration. Then they can see the answers. That is one way. that you can do that. So you can choose different ones to do that. You have to sign in. So let's go through all of the different ones on the PowerPoint, and then when we have time, we'll go back at the end and we can play with some of these. All right, so another one is called readworks.org, which is not letting me. Oh, I know why.
I've worked with Readworks. I like that real well.
Do you like Readworks? Tell me what you like about it.
I like the levels that I can choose. I like the articles,
Right,
and it grades the quiz and gives you their score.
right. And it's
And
totally
it
free.
also has a read aloud for accommodations, and it
Exactly.
reads the text to children. You can assign that.
Yes. And that's probably one of the things I like the most about it. It does give you the option if you want to differentiate, if you want to have it, you can click on the audio part of it. Hang on.
Do you know that with the Readworks, does the teacher turn on the read aloud feature, or do the students? Are the students allowed to control that themselves?
I think when you set up the assignment, Donna, am I correct? When you set up the assignment, you choose that?
When you set up the assignment, you can allow the read aloud, and then the students, there's a little microphone, not a microphone, but a megaphone, like a speaker that shows up, and it'll read the questions also. I like that
Right.
it reads the question. I like the vocabulary page. You
How
can
do your
set up,
students like it?
well, last year they liked it real well. This year it's not gone as much, and I don't believe it. I think it's because I've not promoted it as much. We've got
Okay.
so many programs coming at us that I'm trying to weed through.
Have so
There's
many what?
programs that I'm trying to decide, which ones to keep and which ones not. We have Epic. I've been working through Epic, the Readworks. We have Study Island, which is a program set up. We have
Right.
AR Accelerated Reading Program. We have, and then I'm doing a lot of like boom cards. I do the boom cards online. They like those. That's a quick thing they can pull from. I'm doing those in science and reading. What else? There's some I've not even tried yet.
So you
but I
really,
do
you
like
have a
the
lot of
Readworks.
things to choose from.
That's just a short list. There's a long list. But we do have a good variety of things.
Okay. So have you figured out how to balance those yet? Because I feel like we're giving you more virtual platforms to use, and I don't want to add to your plate with other things if you already are trying to weed
Well,
through
what
what
I'm
you already
trying
have.
to do is decide, well, that's what I'm trying to do is decide what's working for me and my children. And I've heard of Flipgrid, but I hadn't used it enough to know, do I want to use it?
Right.
So I'm trying things and then deciding, well, how am I going to work this in, and how's it going to benefit, and really how do the kids like it? So I'm trying things and trying to work through and keep what I want to, and not so much. If it's not working, then I'm not going to spend more time on it. But
Right.
like
Right.
Study Island, that's a program you have to just spend a lot of time setting up yourself. And then I have spent time setting that up, all to not be able to go on to that program. I've had trouble with that program. So I've
Gotcha.
set that to the side. I'm just not working on Study Island right now though, because I've not had a positive, um, outcome with it before. But some of the other programs I really like, and I'm working toward getting that set up and just concentrate on those right now and add maybe something new. If they get a little bored and tired with some of the stuff. So if you can add one new thing,
Right.
that kind of gets their interest built up again.
Right. Well, and I think that's really one of the bonuses of Flipgrid is you can use it with other programs, to try to have them. You can teach them with one program and then assess them with the Flipgrid, or have them share their information with the Flipgrid. Very cool. So when you go into and it's a free account, it took me like 5 minutes to set up. You can choose your grade level, but you can change it so you can differentiate it, like Donna was saying. They have topic for each month. You can choose which ones you want to do. So for example, if I want to assign all about space, I can just assign that one, or I can assign the whole week-long unit. And so here's where she was talking about with the audio. So I can add it here, and that way I can choose it. Marcia, it's something that if you know ahead of time that your student might need it, you could assign it the first time and have them do it with audio, and then have them go back and assign it without audio. If you want them to practice fluency and reading, if you know it's going to be a little challenging for them. And then you can, once you get it set up, I'm going to select me because I made myself a student. And then I have a certain amount, like I had it set up to where week 1, I have to do this one, week 2, I have to do this one. So it could be something that you set up for like over an extended period of time. Or it could be just one that you create and you only have them do that week. So once you create it, then you have it here and they can choose to do it. They choose to do what you've had a set for them. Here's the article a day set. They can just click on it. And my internet's going to work for me. It really is, for sure.
Donna, I actually did use Readworks some last year. One of my coworkers suggested it because, as I mentioned, I came into reading from math last year.
Right.
So that was something that I did try. I did also like the audio feature for the read aloud students. And but I'm kind of with Donna Childress in that there's so many things going on this year that I honestly have not introduced Readworks at all. Because I feel like with the schedule that we have, there's a limited amount of time.
Right.
And my online students have a hard time keeping up with what I already do assign.
Right.
So I'm like her. I'm like, I'm not bringing in anything else. Now, I really like, the Flipgrid and the Jamboard, because I feel like I can incorporate that. And that's not really that much of a change. I can make activities that I maybe wanted to make using Jamboard like I did after you all showed us that. But yeah, it's just, there's just been too much to bring in on the kids to add one more thing. Not that I won't eventually, maybe in the spring.
Well, no, I understand. So, Marcia, you're hybrid. Do you have in-person and online students?
I do actually, but this week on Monday, our whole school was put online for 2 weeks. So right now, all of my students are online.
Gotcha.
But I did, we were hybrid. And so I had out of 70 students, about 15 or so were online and the rest in person.
Wow. And you have to go all online for the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Donna, how about your class? Are you hybrid, online, in person?
We just got off of a 2-week online. We've been hybrid this week. So and that's hard. You get into one routine and then you flip it back to another routine. And I have several students online, so I'm a hybrid right now. We're on kind of this watch. We just think, any day we're going to go back to online. But
Yeah.
we were online for 2 weeks, and now we're back into school, but we just don't know how long that'll last.
Right.
So
Right. Karen or Brenda, either one of you want to share what your school looks like right now? Nancy and I really want to work
Right
to help
now,
give you. Go ahead.
right now we are in, we don't know how long it'll last. We're in 4 days a week, and then I have some that are online, but I'm expecting any day that we'll be grounded again and we'll all be online. We were out for a month, but now we're in.
Yeah, Southwest Virginia is now one of the hot spots for sure. Yeah.
Yes,
it took
my
a little
town had
longer to get here.
24.
Say it again.
Right, right. We had 24 listed today, new cases. So I strongly, and then a couple in school. So I'm expecting any day that we'll probably go back out.
Wow. All right, well, let me go back and share the rest of this little PowerPoint. I'm going to show you some other activities, but then we're going to talk about what we can do to really help you with the next parts. I skipped one, hang on. Tween Tribune is another one. I can show it to you, but I know it's just another one on your plate. It's a lot of science. It's through the Smithsonian, but it's a lot of fact.
did we just lose her?
If it's something that you have time for, feel free to look through it. I'm not gonna give you another one right now because I know your plate's already full. Have access to it if you want. It's really easy to navigate, like Readworks. But here's some other assessment ideas. So of course, you can create assessments in your Google Classroom. You can do online activities with the Jamboard and the Flipgrid. Wonderopolis is also a really good website to use for reading. Nearpod and then Flocabulary is also a good one. You can create assessments on Kahoot. And I also included this is a digital exit slips that you can do for any lesson plan. Both of these sites or both of these links. What do you guys use right now for digital assessments? What are you using now?
We're making Google documents and just assessments online with their forms and documents, and I just do simple question, after class, just a quick review and a simple exit slip question.
Right,
I have
just through
questions
the
I
Google
pull out of,
Docs.
yes, that's all I've been doing. We've not done just a simple assessment on Google Docs. So
Okay.
that gets your online students and your in-class students, and
You
we've
can use
been
the same assessment for both groups.
We're using Readworks as an assessment, especially for nonfiction, and then Google
Gotcha.
Classroom, making Google tests forms for the novel that we're reading, and just doing independent self-made teacher tests for those. But Readworks has been a great asset for testing as well.
Very cool.
I
Marsha?
usually Yeah, I use Google Forms usually, so it's easy for both my in-person and online students to take those tests. The in-person students, we do have some computers there at school that they can use. That's kind of it, other than maybe just an informal. I like to do Kahoot as informal, but just maybe to prepare them. So,
It's a review or something.
right, yeah.
Well, all of our students have iPads. So.
They all have
and
iPads?
They all have iPads. And then I have, out of about 65 students, I have about 4 that have a very a bad internet connection. And we've
Right.
been working with packets and sending some packets home for Virtual Friday. And then when we're off the 2 weeks, we had to, we fixed work for them to have the 2 weeks we were off.
So they just did virtual packets? Not virtual packets, but paper packets?
Packet, yes, paper packets. They told us at first not to, and we were supposed to record our lessons on a jump drive, but then the iPads do not have a jump drive port. They can't use the jump drives they ordered. It's
Nope.
just been plan as you go and go as you plan,
Yes.
But
Feedback
we've worked
and
it out, so.
Mm. All right, so here's some more probably resources that you don't need right now with everything else that's on your plate. So let's talk about something before let's tell us what you need. I'm going to stop sharing because you, and I feel like help you as much. I mean, the text structures maybe, and using the anticipation guides. I will go, hang on a second. Coming back to you, I promise. This is what I tell Nancy all the time. I'm coming back, Nancy. As soon as I can get it to work. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to share with you the folders for this week that we created. So here's an anticipation guide. This is just a sample of one. The good thing is you can put it into Jamboard. You could put it on whiteboard. I think it's whiteboard.fi. You can put it in a Google Doc. You can download it and upload it in a, and then upload it to a Google file. But basically the anticipation guide is something that you've already read the story. You can put statements or questions in here that you can have them before they read. They can read the statement or question. Do they agree or disagree? And then after they read, then they can go back and read the question again and decide if they agree or disagree. Anticipation guides are really good for before reading, and then during reading they're thinking about those questions that you've asked them, and then after reading again. So it's just a way to be more specific and intentional about what you want them to read. Here's a history frame of the story for the, mapping the story. This is another way to help them with comprehension because they have to figure out, what was the title of the event that happened in the story? Who were the key players? What was their goal? What happened? What are some specific events that helped? So it's kind of like a cause and effect. And then there's also a, we'll do the story pyramid next, where they have to synthesize the information again. It's just different ways. I have lots of different graphic organizers, and I'm sure you do too. But I mean, if there's any specific like story maps or anything you want like that, we can share those with you. This is an overview of the text structure magazine, something that I used to give the students when they were doing it, just to give them examples of which graphic organizer they could use for that text structure, what words would help, trigger, whether it's cause and effect or description. if it's chronological, if it's a comparison or contrast. So those are just some of the resources that are in there. And I'm going to stop sharing again, because what do you want us to do? Next week, we're doing, I think next week's topic is virtual turn-in talks and connecting reading and writing. So what can we do to help you with that without adding to your plate, but giving you something that's more prescriptive that you might actually be able to just take back into the classroom and use? Or any of the other topics that we talked about if you want more information. We can adjust the last PD to be whatever you need it to be. Can't we, Nancy? She's there somewhere.
Absolutely. I'm here. I'm just muted. Absolutely.
So what do you think you need? Because I can
Did you
see
say,
the overwhelming. Go ahead. Sorry.
did you say next week you were doing, yeah.
Virtual turn-in talks.
Uh-huh. And what was the second thing?
And then connecting reading and writing.
Okay. You said something with reading and writing, but I think actually that's probably a pretty good topic, because it's really hard, like I said before, coming back into reading. It's hard for me. There's so much to cover for reading that I feel like I don't cover the writing as well. So being able to put
Okay.
together more so would probably be helpful. And then, hey, how's that going to work out for our online kids?
Right, exactly. Especially
Hey, this is Penny. This class
challenging internet, right?
complete next week. You meet again on the 19th.
We don't meet
No, you don't meet next
19th.
week. Meet on the 19th. Next week we have
Okay.
Dr. Alicia Johnson and Dr. Glenn Holmes from Virginia Tech are going to do a session
Right.
on techniques for staying connected to your students virtually. So I hope you'll all register for that, and then be back with us for the reading on the 19th.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. No,
That's
no,
okay.
you're fine. That's okay. We had this discussion and we weren't sure. So yes, November 19th, we'll be back for that. That gives us 2 weeks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No worries. So Donna, what do you think? I mean, what specific things do you think you feel like you might need?
Well, I agree with Marcia, the writing. I've just not been able to incorporate a lot of writing. And we have a writing program. I don't know if you're familiar with the C3WP writing program. It's argumentative writing. And what you mentioned before with the program you showed us, the articles that they could choose.
Newsletter.
And disagree, that looks really nice. We have articles and prompts to use, but you're always looking for something else to use with that writing program.
Absolutely.
So I'm concerned about how I'm going to incorporate that with the online students. I can.
Right.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
I know how I'll be able to. I read the articles with them and we highlight information, but
Right.
getting them to the point of organizing their writing, I'm going to have to copy that and put it online. But some kids don't have a copier, so they're going to have to transfer that onto their notebook paper and just getting it organized. That's my concern, is getting it organized and just getting the one coherent paragraph that pertains to the article and has their opinion in a way that this program wants the kids to write in. So the writing sounds really good to me too.
Let me ask you a question. Do most of your parents have a smartphone?
I'm not really
Yes,
sure.
The reason I ask is there
online
are
students
some,
I have.
the online students you have, what, Donna?
Most of mine, yes, have smartphones.
The reason I asked is there are some apps that they could download to their phone. For example, one is called Genius Scan. So if they have a printed copy of it, then they could, once they fill it in or do their writing, they can take a picture, it uploads it as a PDF that they could email to you. Is that some, or they could in a Google, is that something that they could do? If it is, we can go over
Yeah.
how to do that on the 19th.
I actually do that right now. I use my iPhone and I go into my notes
Right.
and I actually have been doing that for several things that I don't have a digital copy of,
Right.
but I online. So and that's been super handy. And just directly from my phone, I upload it to my Google Drive.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So that's one way that they could share their writing. I'm trying to figure out, because when we talk about writing, we're talking about two different things. One, we're talking about, can they write it out by hand? Or if they're digital, are we expecting them to type it out? Which for some kids may be faster, which some kids may not take it, may take forever. So, when we talk about writing, I guess we need to talk about both pieces of that. If you want them to do it handwritten, or if you want them to word process it. Does that make sense?
I've actually discovered that,
Donna,
oh, sorry.
No, that's okay, Marcia. Go
No,
ahead.
you're fine. I've got a lag, so I talk over you every once in a while, and I really apologize for that.
I think we all do. It's okay.
Okay.
I actually discovered last year, I had a couple of, I'm sorry, Donna, your cat was looking right in the camera, watching me. It's so cute. Anyway, last year I had a couple of kids who had an IEP accommodation that they needed a scribe, but there were so many students in
Right.
that needed a scribe that it was hard for me and our sped teacher to accommodate all of them at the same time. So we would have some of them typing while we were helping others. And I found that even though they were a little bit slower in typing, they actually preferred the typing over writing it on paper. So
Right. Well, and another accommodation you could do for that as well is they could tell the story on Flipgrid. So that's also something they could do as well. So Karen, what would you need for the next time we meet?
I agree with the writing. That's just a tough thing to try to get in sometimes. I teach special education and sometimes I feel like that's left on the back burner compared to reading.
Well, it's not assessed anymore, so it's not as much of a priority, right? For a
Right,
while,
which is sad.
Yes, because for a while we were pushing, and then we kind of backed off a bit. Brenda, what else can we do to help you? Are you there? Not sure.
I'm here, but I'm Penny's assistant. I'm not a teacher, so I'm just watching.
Oh, that's right. Right. Okay. That's right. All right, I guess, what questions do you have for us? Because we were going to go in and play with some of that stuff, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So tell us what you do, what questions you have. Donna?
You tell us that you are putting things in the chat. How do I go back? I've had trouble finding the.
I'm totally broken up.
Donna, I can see you talking, but I can't hear you at all.
Pardon?
I said, we can see you talking, but we can't hear you.
Okay.
There we go. Now I can. So you were saying you're having trouble accessing the resources?
Yes.
This is the link to the Google folder Donna Fogleson just put in the chat. Do you see the chat, Donna?
Yes.
Click
Can you
on that.
copy and paste it? Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll
So-
take you to it.
Do I click on that before the meeting is,
Yes.
You
Go ahead
can,
and
yeah, and
click on
it'll
it
take
now.
you to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
click on it now,
Yep.
and I can download that?
Yeah, you can save it to your drive for sure.
Into Drive? I don't know, I just, some days I can do things like this and some days I can't.
Well, I tell you what, if you
Now.
want to put your email in the chat, then we can copy those emails and we can also send you the link through email so you always
Yeah, that
have it.
might be the easiest way, is to send it to you via email,
Okay.
the link to the folder.
Yeah.
That would be great. I had an appointment last week and had to miss and have had a tough time trying to find the video.
Yeah, and the links to that should be in the bottom of that folder. So yeah, just put your emails in the chat and Nancy and I will collect them.
I
And
will
we will-
collect them.
Okay, and then we can send you the link out so you have it in your email. And then as we add things, it's not going to change. The folder will be the same. We just add stuff to that email.
That's great. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're very welcome. So when we do the presentation for next week, you want ways to connect reading and writing virtually and in person? Okay.
Yes, that's good.
I've
Brenda,
collected the email addresses, so I've got
Okay.
those. Yeah.
Brenda, did you want to put your email in there?
Remember, Brenda is Penny's assistant.
Oh, that's right. Duh. I forgot. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I totally forgot. All right. Well, that's all I have because there's no need to keep you if we have no more questions or anything. I know we're ending like 5 minutes early. Nancy and I will be here for a few more minutes if you have any questions. If not, thank you for coming. Hopefully we've helped you some with comprehension and not overwhelmed you even more with all of the different ideas and suggestions.
Thank you,
Yes.
ladies.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
the 19th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the other thing is if something comes up, I'm going to put, before we go, I'm going to put my email and Nancy's email in the chat as well. So if you need something before we meet again, if you come into like, hey, I really need help with this, just email us and we would be happy to help you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
I appreciate it.